I guess kind of your thoughts on this game coming up. It's kind of unique, certainly for Boise State going kind of across the country and stuff like that. What's the excitement for you guys, or how are you guys kind of approaching it?
The plane ride, not too excited about that. Um, it's going to be roughly about a 5 or 6 hour plane ride, so that's not fun. But I'm sure once we get off, the excitement's going to start about the game and whatnot. And I give a lot of credit to Virginia. They're a great team, and we're just excited to play because it's our next game, and we're going to go into this game like we do any other game.
Considering where you're from, though, you're probably used to long flights, I would imagine.
Right.
But or do you just never get used to it?
For me personally, I just don't like flying in general because I don't have control of it, so I rather not fly. But it's something we got to do, so I just do it.
So some guys say they sleep, some guys watch film, some guys do homework, watch movies. What are you gonna do for a 5 hour flight?
That's a great question. Coach Cole actually makes a test for us that we do on the plane, and we get that done, and I talk stories with Sam McCaskill because he's sitting next to me on the plane for a little bit, and normally I just kind of, just put in my headphones, probably, listen to some music and maybe watch a movie this flight because it's a little longer than most.
Do you have to go 3, or do you get the middle seat open? Or
this year we've been lucky enough to have first class seating, so it's only 2, and the chairs are kind of bigger and it reclines a little more, so that's nice.
What this game? Do you like going to new places, play new teams? I mean, you guys play the same Mountain West teams every year. Do you like kind of playing somebody new?
It's always good to play someone from that side of the states, because for me, I'm from Hawaii, and that's just something to experience outside of football itself, just to see the environment out there, see life and what really happens out there outside of football. So that's also cool.
I know defensively, when the other team has the ball at home, they're not going to be quite as loud for the crowd, but still that atmosphere and stuff that you guys went through at BYU as a team, do you think that's going to help you again on Friday?
Right. I'm sure their atmosphere is going to be very loud. I'm sure they have great fans out there, and it's an ESPN game. It should be a great one in my opinion, and I'm sure that crowd's going to be rocking, and I'm excited about it.
What have you seen from them? Because they've played, a couple of really tough teams, and then they played, William and Mary close. So overall, what have you kind of seen from Virginia?
Overall, I've seen a team that hustles, and they don't give up on a play, and they play through the whistle instead of at the whistle or to the whistle. I see a team that when times get hard, they come together and they stick with one another. And the game against Notre Dame really caught my eye because obviously they're a top 10 team, and they went out there and fought, and they almost won the game. And that says a lot to go out of the team against that.
You guys had to kill a lot of time in the hotel for that BYU game. Were you by chance watching that Notre Dame game while you were waiting to leave for the BYU game?
Right. I actually seen. I flipped it on right when they had the reverse pass, and they scored. They got a touchdown. I said, "Wow, these guys are actually pretty good." And at first, I was kind of nervous, but it's just like any other game. I'm just gonna do my normal routines, stick with my team, and just do what we do.
Seems Virginia's got kind of a shifty running back too. It might present a bit of a problem, especially because he can get out of the backfield and catch the ball. What have you noticed out of that aspect of the game?
Number 4, they line him up at a slot back, running back. They do a lot of jet sweeps with him, so obviously he does it all for the team. He's a great player. He's going to be hard to stop. That's one for sure, but I'm sure if we do what Coach Yates and Coach Caldwell tells us to do, then we'll be fine.
Do you guys see that much, these days with teams using running backs that way? I don't know if you see it as much in college football these days as maybe you used to.
Right.
Do you guys see that much? Just from other teams using running backs like that?
Yeah, they really just like to keep us on our toes instead of having one guy place only in the backfield. They kind of like to spread them out and get us thinking. So really, that just keeps us on our toes, and it's fun. So it's exciting.
When you watch their offense, you see similarities to Boise State's offense, knowing that they're multiple, a lot of formations, very diverse?
Right. They do a lot of shifts and motions and whatnot, and that's what our offense does. So this week, I feel like it's a smooth transition, just because we're used to it, and it shouldn't be too hard.
What about for you personally? We talked about how big of a year this could be for you coming in. Three games in, how do you think you've played?
Really, I haven't played up to my expectations about how I should play. Coach Caldwell has a certain standard for me. I have a certain standard for myself, and Coach Harsin has a certain standard for me. But I feel like I can do a lot more for this team, and I feel like I haven't been playing where I need to be playing at.
I know the consistency was a big thing, and not taking plays off and things like that. I mean, how have you, with the effort and stuff like that, do you feel like that's at least been good? Or
I've been trying to hustle to the ball a little more, but I feel like I just need to be more explosive, and I need to be more of a team player instead of worrying about myself a little more.
How can you fix some of that stuff? Some of that stuff seems like it's something, maybe it's, I don't know, mental, but what are you trying to work on to enable yourself to do better in those ways?
Really, I'm trying to work on my pad leverage, which can help me be explosive, and just my motor. I just need to have a mindset of just running to the ball every single play and not giving up. And I think with Coach Caldwell, he's been doing a great job with me. Just, hey man, let's go run to the ball. Hey, let's go run off the field, and that's all going to transition in the game. And so I think that's been helping.
You kind of mentioned, a little bit about, playing more for the team instead of for yourself. When you say that, what do you mean by that?
Well, a lot of people nowadays are focused on stats and, oh, this guy has sacks and, this guy has a lot of tackles. But in my opinion, I can see guys who have not as many sacks or not as many tackles, but is a all-around great player, and he does his job to help the team, and that's just what I'm trying to do. And if plays just so happen to come my way and I make them, then it happens. So
our team's focusing a little more on you this year. Do you notice that? And is that something you've had to play through, or?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of noticing some teams, that chip the running back on me and whatnot, but that's still not gonna stop me. I still need to do my job. I still need to do what Coach Caldwell says, and just do my pass rush and just do what I do, and I think I'll be fine.
You mentioned this game being on ESPN and stuff, and this is the last non-conference game. What kind of game is this going to be? You guys able to make a statement in this game? Or is this a big game, I guess, kind of going into conference play, kind of show people, what this defense and this team's all about?
Right. I feel every game is important, because if you lose, you're obviously not going to have a chance at a great bowl game at the end of the season. So I feel like with this game and the next game and the next game, it's all the same, because once you lose, you're pretty much done, and that's not our goal. And we want to win as a team every game, and we're just going to go into this game with the same approach as we do every game.
Couldn't help but notice yesterday in practice, and also Idaho State, dropping into pass coverage for you.
Right.
What's that like for you, and what's that adjustment been like for you?
Right. It's been huge this season. I'm trying to work on my coverages, and I'm trying to work on more of being a versatile player instead of only rushing the passer. And I feel like Coach Hout has been doing a great job with me. We've just been working on being able to play in space, as you can say, instead of being so tight next to a lineman, instead of me going back in coverage and a running back comes out and I need to break down my feet and whatnot. So it's been good.
Go ahead.
Colin, give some on Mario and making that switch out to tackle. And so you've had to go against him the last week or so. How's he doing out there? What's he bring to that position?
He's a great player. He's big, of course, obviously. So you can't do any power moves on him. But he's actually been doing very well, and I'm very surprised at it, because I thought he could only play guard. But he's doing an awesome job at tackle, and he's been playing like how he normally does, and he's been balling.